Imagine if Thomas Edison had given up? What if Michael Jordan had stopped after being cut from his high school basketball team? What if Colonel Sanders had given up on his KFC dream after being rejected 1,009 times? Today, the world would only remember them as failures. In life, everyone faces doubts. There are moments when we feel like we've lost. But for those who want to move forward, for those who want to win, defeat is not an option. When you fall, there are two paths. Either you stay down and regret your fate, or you get up and fight with a renewed passion. Winners don't dwell on the pain of falling, they simply find a way to rise. Today, we'll talk about those who turn their failures into strength, those who were told, "You can't do it," but proved the world wrong. This story is for those who are tired of life's struggles, those who've stopped because they fear failure. But remember, if you want to win, defeat is not an option. Life is a battle, and only those who know how to fight win it. But before every victory comes a challenge, one that can break you or make you. Those who give up, their story ends there. But those who fight, who rise after falling, are the ones whose names go down in history. Every person has a spark, a flame inside them that drives them to move forward. But many are so afraid of failure that they extinguish this light. The real truth is, life tests only those who have the strength to pass the test. Whenever you're in a bad situation, whenever it feels like nothing is possible, remember this: defeat only happens when you accept that you've lost. For those determined to win, every setback is just a bend in the road, not the end of the journey. Today, we'll hear the stories of people who refuse to accept defeat. People who, despite poverty, failure, and the world's judgment, chased their dreams and showed the world that defeat is not an option. Are you ready to change the course of your life? Are you ready to break through the fear of failure and move forward? If yes, these stories are for you. What if someone told you that your dreams would be rejected 1,009 times? What if, despite all your efforts, the world told you were not good enough? Would you still keep going? Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, faced rejection like no one else. His journey wasn't easy. In fact, it was filled with struggle, disappointment, and failure. But Sanders didn't give up. He was determined to succeed, even when the odds were stacked against him. Harlan Sanders started his career working at different jobs, but none of them brought him success. He opened a small restaurant where he made his famous fried chicken. However, his restaurant was forced to close when a new highway was built nearby. At 65, with no savings, no job, and no restaurant, Sanders could have given up. But instead, he decided to take his chicken recipe to restaurant owners, hoping one of them would give him a chance. He traveled across the country, and he was rejected 1,009 times. Every single restaurant turned him down. But Sanders didn't stop. He believed in his dream and kept knocking on doors. Finally, after 1,009 rejections, he got his first yes. That yes led to the birth of KFC, one of the most successful fast food chains in the world. Today, KFC makes billions of dollars every year, and Colonel Sanders is a symbol of perseverance. Defeat only happens when you give up. If Colonel Sanders had stopped after 1,009 rejections, the world would never have known KFC. But those who don't fear rejection, those who rise after each fall, are the ones who make history. If you're facing struggles, if the world is telling you it's impossible, remember, your defeat will only come when you stop trying. Keep pushing forward, because success might be just one yes away. Michael Jordan is considered one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but his journey to greatness wasn't as smooth as it seems. In fact, he was once cut from his high school basketball team. At the time, Jordan was 15 years old and had a dream of becoming a professional basketball player. But his high school coach didn't think he had what it took and left him off the team. For many, this would have been the end of the road. The rejection could have crushed their spirits and made them give up. But not Michael Jordan. Instead of accepting defeat, Jordan worked harder than ever. He practiced for hours, improving his skills and perfecting his game. He knew that if he wanted to succeed, he had to push beyond the limits set by others. He refused to let that rejection define him. Jordan went on to become a legendary figure in the basketball world, winning 6 NBA championships and earning numerous accolades. He often says that being cut from the team was one of the best things that ever happened to him, because it taught him the importance of resilience and hard work. Rejection doesn't define who you are. How you respond to rejection does. Jordan's story teaches us that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone to success. If he had let that setback stop him, the world would have never known his greatness. Defeat is not an option unless you choose to make it one. Imagine writing a book that you believe in, only to have it rejected by 12 different publishers. That's exactly what happened to J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before her first book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, became a global phenomenon, Rowling was living in poverty, struggling as a single mother. She had a dream of becoming a writer, and she poured her heart and soul into her manuscript. However, when she sent it to publishers, she was rejected by 12 different ones. It would have been easy for her to give up. After all, she had received no recognition, no validation. But she didn't quit. She continued to believe in her story and her characters. She finally found a publisher, Bloomsbury, who agreed to take a chance on her. The rest, as they say, is history. Harry Potter went on to become one of the best-selling book series of all time, and Rowling became a billionaire. The path to success is rarely straightforward. Rowling's story is a perfect example of how rejection and failure can be part of the journey to greatness. If she had let those 12 rejections stop her, the world would have never known the magic of Harry Potter. Never let failure define you. Let it fuel your drive to keep going. We all know the name Walt Disney, a man whose creations have inspired millions around the world. But did you know that he was once fired for lack of creativity? In the early years of his career, Disney worked at a newspaper where he was told that he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Can you imagine? A man who would go on to build an empire of creativity was once told he wasn't creative enough. But Walt Disney didn't let that defeat him. Instead of quitting, he used that criticism as motivation. He went on to create the Disney brand, one of the most influential and beloved names in entertainment. From animation to theme parks, Disney revolutionized the world of entertainment and brought joy to billions. Criticism and rejection are just part of the journey. Walt Disney could have given up after being fired, but instead, he used that rejection to prove everyone wrong. Defeat is only an option if you allow it to be. Keep going, and let the world see your true potential. Steve Jobs is known as one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time, but his path to success wasn't without its challenges. In fact, he was once fired from the very company he founded, Apple. In the 1980s, Jobs had built Apple into a successful company, but his management style and vision for the company clashed with the board of directors. As a result, Jobs was fired from the company he had created. For most people, being fired from their own company would have been a devastating blow. But Jobs didn't let this defeat define him. Instead, he took the opportunity to reinvent himself. He founded Next and Pixar, both of which would go on to be incredibly successful. Eventually, Apple bought Next, and Jobs returned to the company, where he would lead it to become one of the most valuable companies in the world. Failure can be a powerful tool for growth. Steve Jobs didn't let being fired from Apple stop him. Instead, he used that experience to grow, learn, and eventually return to lead Apple to greatness. Defeat only matters if you stop trying. Keep pushing forward, no matter the obstacles. These stories are all powerful reminders that defeat is not an option unless you choose to make it one. Every person who achieved greatness faced rejection, failure, or setbacks, but they didn't let those moments define their futures. They kept going, and you can too. To dosto. Aj hum kuch ace kahanian suni jo humian yesikati hain kuzindagi kahar mod par, har mushkil main, humar pas du choices hodi hain. Ya to hum apni sapno ko chod kar rug jain. Ya for hum uss mushkil ka samna kardi hu apni sap on ki taraf auge bad hain. Michael Jordan ka college basketball team se reject hona. JK Rowling ka 12 publishers se reject hona. Colonel Sanders ka 1009 bar reject hona. Walt Disney ka creativity kuliya fire hona. Or Steve Jobs ka apni high company se Nickel dia jana. Ya sab examples hain jo ya dikate hain ka asli g tab hodi hi jab hum apni har ka samna kardi hain, or usi apni takat banate hain. Zindagi main sab log apni sapn dekt hain. Lekin was sapn surf unhai logon kalia por od hain jo har mushkil, har rejection, or har failure ka bad be ruk nahi. Jo log apni himat or janun ko kabi kadam nahi hon deet. Wahi alge chalkar dunya ko apni safalta ka sabud deet hain. Ya jo kahanian hum suni. Ya surf kahanian nahi hain. Ya wajaz bahai jo hum sab ka andar chupa hoda hai. Har shocks ka andar ek Michael Jordan hai jo apni fail hon ka bad, be kelm ka janun rock da hai. Har shocks ka andar ek Steve Jobs hai jo kabi na kabi apni sapno ko hakikat banain kuliya apni mushkalan ka samna kar da hai. Har shocks ka andar ek Colonel Sanders hai jo har rejection ka bad apni manzil ko pon kuliya, or minute karta hai. To jab kabi be zindagi main tum lagi katum thak ge ho. Jab tum lagi katum hair sapn bs sapn hai ray jange. Tabya kahanian yad rako. Defeat is not an option. Jo log apni sapno kapiche bagged hain. Unhai kuliya ya dunya apni ras banani hai. Tumhara safar be ubi shuro ho raha hai. Tumhara wakt a gaya hai. Tum jo be apni sapn dek rake hain. Unhi pura karan ka wak a gaya hai. Tumhara janun, tumhari minute, tumhara vishwas, ya sab tumher sapno tak lajange. To ajse, apni dil mania dafan kar du. Defeat is not an option. Har mushkil ka samna karo, har challenge ka face karo, or apni manzil tak pohan kuliye kabi be rukna mat. Agar tum apni zindagi main apni sapn sach karna chad ho. To sabs pela kam ya samajna haga. Defeat is not an option.